Lately, we've heard a lot about the collaboration between NASA and SpaceX. Their latest quest is to land the first woman and next man on the moon by 2024 through their Artemis program. This is in hopes to set the stage for a manned mission to Mars.
Wait, like that old Disneyland ride, Mission to Mars, that was really rocking to the moon before it was called Mission to Mars?
I think that was a little before our time, but this is a bit different.
Well, Giovanna, you know the U.S. is not the only space exploration in the game.
Really?
Yep. Let's take a look at what China has been up to recently as well.
China on Tuesday launched an unmanned spacecraft to a previously untouched part of the moon to bring lunar rocks back to Earth. The mission of the Chang'e 5 probe, named after the ancient Chinese goddess of the moon, is to collect 4.5 pounds of samples to help scientists understand more about the moon's origins and formation. If successful, it would make China only the third country to have retrieved lunar samples after the U.S. and the Soviet Union.
Wait, I'm not sure I know about the Soviet Union and what it has to do with space. Do you know?
This sounds like the perfect time to hand it off to Oscar for some next-gen science. You know, for the space part of it.
Hey guys, it's Oscar here with some next-gen science. Well, kind of history, but some science for you too. Let's start with today and work our way back to the future. Like Trenton showed us, China has recently launched a spacecraft to the moon. Let's learn more about that mission.
In one lunar day, or about 2 weeks here on Earth, China will try to collect the material from an unvisited area in a massive lava plain on the moon. The samples will then be transferred to a return capsule and sent back to Earth. China's current mission comes as NASA is planning to send robotic rovers to the moon before an eventual human landing for the first time since 1972.
Beautiful, just beautiful.
Wait. We're gonna have to go back further than 1972. And we have to understand that the Soviet Union, or the USSR, was actually the country of Russia, plus 14 other republics, and was one of the most dominant political powers in the world. You can say that the United States and the Soviet Union were rivals, competing in something called the Cold War. Not an actual war between two countries, but you could definitely cut the tension between these two global powers with a knife. So let's go to October 4th, 1957. This date marks the Soviet launch of the Sputnik 1, the first ever satellite in space. And so the space race began. This left the US in shock, like when you're with your parents and someone swoops a prime parking spot right in front of you. So the Soviets continued to have success launching satellites and missiles. Meanwhile, the first satellite that the US tried to launch, the Vanguard, ended up exploding instead of ascending. So there's that. Throughout the following decade, the US was constantly trying to keep up with the Soviets. They developed NASA, dedicated tons of money to develop space exploration, and even sent chimpanzees to space to test spacecrafts. Pretty bananas, I know. Events on both sides contributed to the turning point in this race. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy made a strong public declaration that the U.S. would land a man on the moon before the end of the decade. Meanwhile, in 1966, Sergei Korolev, the chief engineer of the Soviet space program, surprisingly died, weakening the abilities of their program. The U.S. ramped up their Apollo program, and on July 16, 1969, the world saw the launch of Apollo 11, making Neil Armstrong the first man to ever walk on the surface of the moon. This massive accomplishment seemingly made the U.S. the winner of the space race. At this point, the Cold War began to thaw, referred to as the Détente. And in 1975, U.S. and Soviet astronauts coordinated on a meeting in space, shaking hands, exchanging gifts, and collaborating on experiments. Overall, we've been trying to explore space for over 60 years. Now, the space race has been redefined, with new competitors and a new goal. Who will put the first human on planet Mars? Will it be China, Russia, the United States? Only time will tell who will win Space Race 2.0 and reach this new frontier. Well, I'm Oscar, and this has been some out-of-this-world next-gen science.